On the weekends school days where you go to school and we had to take our lunch and you come home and either play cowboys and Indians in the younger days around the neighborhood, or on the weekends, it's sort of, there were no phones. Parents didn't have to know where you were every minute of the day. You just sort of disappear, go off, and not far away, there was a big open, like not a forest, but well, we used to call it the forest, but it was just an area full of trees with sort of paths through it. So we would go in there, build forts, and not tree forts, but collect wood and whatever. Or in the wintertime, you would go a couple blocks down to where the ice rink was and have a pickup game of ice hockey. Or go down to the river you saw there. And there were the banks of the river off Regina Avenue. The river was frozen, obviously, in the winter. So you could toboggan and sled down and end up over the frozen ice, the frozen river. We would put boards around that square on that field that I think you saw, and then flood it. Have a hose and flood it. Put a couple of goals in each end, and whoever showed up, you play hockey. But in the real cold, you could only stay out there skating for about, 15 or 20 minutes at most, because the skates weren't that good, and your feet got cold. But there was always a hut with a pot-bellied stove, coal or wood in this hut, which you could go in and warm up. This was a tradition. Talk to anybody on the prairies who had these outdoor rinks. And they're all the same. There would be an outdoor rink. There would be a hut with a pot-bellied stove. And there would be an old guy in there.
Right.
He was the maintenance guy, and he would keep the fire going. And he had to look after the ice rink and clear the snow off when it snowed. And, typically he would be in there and typically smoking a cigarette. We'd been hitchhiking, and he dropped us off at an intersection, sort of late morning, in the country. There's nothing else around, but he was going one way and we wanted to go the other. So he dropped us off at this junction with no town around. But then the snowstorm hit. So we're standing there trying to get hitchhiking. We couldn't get a ride, and we were there from noon until it was almost getting dark. A police car drove up and said, what are you guys doing here? Well, we're trying to get down to Oslo. And he said, well, I don't think you're going to get a ride this time of night. So I'll give you a ride into the nearest town, which he did. And then he asked us, do you have anywhere to stay? And we said, no. Anyway, the kind police officer put us up in the jail. And he said, if you're going to stay in the jail, I have to book. I guess we got a record of being booked as vagabonds. We slept in the cells. They didn't even lock the door. They closed the cell door, but didn't actually lock it. So it wasn't very comfortable. Hard bench with a blanket, but it was warm. They brought us breakfast in the morning.
Yeah.
The cells drove us out to the edge of. It wasn't a very big town, but drove us out to the edge of town. Hitchhiked down to Oslo. Yeah, that was a great story. This is one of my happiest times in England, actually. With the 3 kids, the house was all finished. It had been a challenge to get it done. Work-wise was going well. Financially, we were much better off financially. I had good income.
What else made it happy?
Sorry?
What else made it happy?
Well, just being with the family, being with the kids. They were sort of getting old enough where they were communicating, and I was having fun with them. We had a big back garden. I don't know if you can see this.
Oh, no, yeah, I know that photo. I've seen that photo.
Have you seen that picture?
Yeah, I've seen that picture. I love that one.
The 3 of them.
With their T-shirts. It says big brother, little brother, middle brother, is it?
Yeah, big brother, middle brother.
I love it.
Little brother.
Yeah, it's the best.